I will not be pushed, filed, stamped, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered. My life is my own.
Well, hey there, my friends. How's everybody doing on this fine day? At least it was here in Portland. It was a beautiful day. It was sunny and warm for spring anyway. And I've been pretty much working from the time I got up until now. It's about 8 o'clock p.m. And I've been really focused on finishing these guitars. I got up this morning and I started doing this soldering work on this final guitar that I really wanted to get done today. I know that I tend to be the kind of person who gets things almost complete and then moves on to something else. It's kind of an art thing. I've always done this. It's a problem. Definite problem. But I was determined to finish, and so I promised all of you that I would share how they sound once they're finished. And I have now completed in front of me one guitar and one bass that I have almost completely finished. Although before I made this video I had another issue with the wiring. I had to go back and re-solder it like twice and figure out some different, because there's different types of connections to make, different methods for wiring it, and loose connections can lead to all kinds of problems. So once I finally got all this figured out, I was pretty stoked to hear it working. And before I go any further, I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers, friends, family, people who have given me support over the last couple months. And I'm just talking about verbal support. That is so underappreciated by a lot of people. Just a simple right on, or that looks great, or hey, keep trying, or work hard. Because us as humans, we just want to do well, and we want to feel appreciated in our lives, and that's understandable. But I also understand that in order to feel appreciated and to really have something that's appreciable like that, it takes a lot of work and dedication. Because, you know, anybody can go bead a necklace or something, right? I mean, it's different to make a necklace with a nice pattern. The same thing with the guitar. Anybody can make a guitar. I really believe that. Any person out there who was dedicated and put their time into it could build a guitar. The question is, how much patience do we have to make sure it works? And so, anyway, without me rambling too much, I don't want this to be long, but this is the first guitar I finished. Not the first one I made. That was this one, and this is the one I've been working on for half the day. It has the Flower of Life in it, and I just finished doing all the fret leveling. Everything on here is ready to go. The neck had broke and I had to repair it, and so this is kind of an afterthought for later. I'm definitely going to get that to work, but I'm not going to go through all the guitars. I'm just going to plug this one in. This is based on a Gibson wiring. The new Gibson, not the old Gibson, so there's different types of wiring, which when you have 4 knobs and a 3-way switch, let's just say you don't need the details. If you're a guitarist or you're a person who does electronics, you'll know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, then it probably doesn't matter. But the point is, I'm having issues right now with my first pickup switch, and so that's not, so we've got the volumes and the tone and everything, but what I wanted to say was, the point here is that it's really hard to get a fretboard level, to get everything working. You have to make sure the frets are level, that they're spaced properly, that the nut is at the right height, it's the right width, that the taper and the angle of the neck is proper, that the bridge down here is all set properly, that the pickups are in the right place. Then you have to do intonation on the bridge. So I still have a little bit of perfecting to do, I'm pretty sure, but it works, and it sounds fine. Earlier I had it intonated pretty well, but I have been messing with this nut up here, which I'm still adjusting. But as far as the final, let's just start with Stairway to Heaven, the forbidden song, right? Now, mind you, I don't play electric guitar. I've always been an acoustic player, so they're new to me, and I've always had issues with intonation. That's making sure that when I play a G up here, or a C up here, or any of these chords, that it sounds the same here. and you can hear that there's a little bit off right now. I'm not going to sit here and go through tuning the strings, but let's just say that it works. I'm not a solo guy. So anyway, it works. There's the electric guitar, a few small adjustments, and it's going to be a phenomenal player for someone. Put a lot of love and time into this thing. I'll be putting this up for auction probably, because I'm actually going to keep the one that had the broken head on it instead, because I wanted to keep my first guitar. But each one's going to be numbered. I'm going to have my own serial numbers. Each one will come with a certificate of authenticity and a description of the materials used, and a guarantee that it's one of a kind. And I know for a lot of people who say if you want to make guitars, you need to make something that's mass produced, that you can repeat. I understand that, but I also want something that's OG. So this is the bass I used. Now this is based on a P bass design, a standard Fender P bass. It's got a simple tone and volume control. Volume, and then it's got the tone. Whoops, it's like my chord's getting fucked up. It's the P bass design, I think, is one of the most useful and simple. The P bass, these were the original layouts. There's two different basses that you'll usually find on average. There's a P bass and a J bass. A P bass has two pickups like this, which are actually single coil pickups, but this is a humbucker. From what I understand, these are two single coil pickups that are placed next to each other to create a humbucker. And sometimes you'll find them with even two pairs of these, or like my other bass over here, which is a Samick, has, I don't know if you can see that, yeah, the yellow one. It's got two, the P pickups and then one of the J bass. The jazz bass pickups are a different type of tone and sound. But in bass is bass, right? You've got your deep bass, and then you've got your some very nice treble on this. But what I did to this bass was put a little curve here to set on my leg, because personally I like to sit like here's some practice sometimes. And I haven't played bass in a long time, so don't mind me. But at any rate, right? And then if you want some tone, right? Turn it up. So what I did was when I first made it, up here on the 12th fret, I was having some buzz. I went through and I re-leveled everything, adjusted the nut, everything down to the bridge. The only thing on here that needs to be changed is these tuners, because these are some P-bass tuners that came on an original P-bass that I replicated, and I didn't have the tuners I bought for it are right here, and they're beautiful tuners, and you can see they're black. They have the same design, except for the square part over here sticks out past the head, and I couldn't use them. So these are all the things that I'm learning as I go. And that, my friends, is my bass and my guitar. I'm not going to sit here and play for you. I am not a professional bass player. I'm not even an amateur bass player or a guitar player. I started playing when I was 16 or so. I've been playing for about 30 years, but there'll be years where I don't even play guitar all year. So, you know, there were times when I was a teenager where I would sit there and play over and over and over and learn these songs, like, especially, oh come on, where's that switch back here? There we go. This is my old PV amp. I love the thing. I'm stoked. I'm stoked to have accomplished this, and I just wanted to share it with y'all. That's all. This is another one that I'm really stoked to finish. This is going to be this is based on a Stratocaster design. You can see it's pretty thin on the edges, and so because of that, it's extremely light. And I love this thing. It's got a zebra wood fretboard on it, and it's got Padauk and Purple Heart for the neck and head. The point I bring this up for is because I realized once I made the whole plate for it, and I wired it all up, and I got all the pickups in it, and it's all ready to go, soldered up. I went to pop it in here, and the switch is too deep. It's a 5-way switch, and it doesn't fit in the cavity. I tried to go drill it out, but I can't because I'll cut through the back. And that's the downside of coming up with your own designs. So I instead was able to look around and find a specific L-shaped pickup for shallow cavities, a switch that went in there. But anyway, I'm not going to ramble on about guitars. I just wanted to show you all that I did make a guitar, I did make a bass, and they both play. And I'm pretty stoked on it. So, also thank you all for, supporting. There are always the couple of doubters out there, right? And those people I totally appreciate more than anything. People who are like, you can't just build a guitar. It's like, bring it on, I'll do it, right? I mean, I know that I had a previous experience in carpentry which definitely benefited me in doing this, but it's a long road. There are so many things to learn. I mean, there's like 100 steps to building a guitar, and sanding, or like half of them. But if you ever wanted to make your own guitar, I would highly recommend at least trying it once. If you're a guitarist, I know a lot of people can buy kits. And I found out the other day that a lot of boutique guitar companies call themselves boutique actually buy their necks from overseas. Or you can buy a neck from Amazon for like $100, $150. That's all fine and dandy. I know I'm competing with the big cheap cookie cutter CNC cut guitars. I don't care. Everything on these guitars is handmade. Everything is hand planed, polished, routed. Every element is completely overseen by me. And so I feel like that puts something into it. A certain amount of character when a guitar is built by one person. And I'm hoping I can get myself off the ground and in a couple of years from now have Carpo's custom guitars and have a long line of people waiting to get them. First I got to get my name out there and prove that they work. So I'm going to have my son play one on stage a couple times and see what he thinks of it. And it's all about getting feedback, I guess. But so far so good. And honestly, the bass plays better than a lot of basses I'd played in the past, and I'm happy about it. Talk to you next time. Thanks for listening to my ramble and my self-righteous look at my creations thing, but it's really no different than showing an art piece you made or, a story you wrote, I guess. It's something that I created, and I can share here on social media. Oh, look at all this beauty. Now I'll talk to y'all next time. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for coming to Carpo's channel, yo. Yeah.